XRP ETF when?
I think we're going to see it. I think it'll probably be 2025.
Like, why didn't Bitcoin adopt smart contracts? They could have, but they didn't, because like there's value in having a system that is what Bitcoin is, right? And Ethereum is like the smart contract platform.
And many new players obviously have entered the stablecoin race, from Ripple and PayPal and Visa and many others.
Now, a distributed ledger system enables, firstly, the management of a regime of accounts.
That's how much gold the U.S. has. And just do the math. And this is, as I said, this is 7th grade math. What would the price per ounce have to be for 8,000 tons to back up and one? And the answer is $27,000.
We came to the DFS Lab Stellar Bootcamp to jumpstart our self-custody multi-token wallet strategy, bringing the worlds of crypto and DeFi to the 300 million Africans that choose.
A tremendous opportunity. It's a new architecture. And we will spend time later on talking about all the changes of last week. But I think the one piece of the iceberg that yet needs to crack.
And so we're in the final, let's say, half mile of that marathon. I think we'll see resolution hopefully this summer.
So getting payments right, both on the institutional side and on the sort of retail DeFi side. And obviously people holding lots of our stable coin to make those.
Know what you hold?
Enjoy the ride, pal.
Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock News. Shout out to Let Us Up. We got the total global cryptocurrency market cap today at 2.74 trillion, up about 1.5% in the past 24. We got XRP in that number 8 spot, right around 52.5 cents. Stellar XLM right around 10.5 cents. BTC 70,000. We got ETH right around 38 hundo. Flare Networks right around 0.028. Axelar right at $1. XDC 0.036. We got Songbird right around 0.01. Stronghold 0066. We got Zahal right around 12 cents. Evernote 24 cents. We got one from Bitcoin Magazine to pop things off. Breaking: Thailand SEC approves the first spot Bitcoin ETF. Speaking of ETF, Brad Garland House XRP ETF 2025.
Okay, XRP ETF when?
I think we're going to see it. I think it'll probably be 2025.
Next year?
Yeah,
all right.
Not too far away.
Good to see you. We'll see if that.
Best is still yet to come. Crawl, walk. Then we rock it. We got crypto ready. Will smart contracts ever be on the XRP Ledger?
Smart contract, adding smart contracts to Ripple?
So there's two plans to add smart contracts to either like the XRP Ledger or the ecosystem. So one plan is a sort of side chain that runs EVM smart contracts. So you'll be able to move tokens between the XRP Ledger and the side chain. And then the side chain, you could just run Ethereum smart contracts on it. So that will bring Ethereum smart contracts sort of to the XRP Ledger ecosystem, but not really to the XRP Ledger. You would still have an account either on the XRP Ledger or the side chain. If you had both, you would have it's not a seamless experience of like just being able to launch a smart contract right on the XRP Ledger. There's an approach that was developed completely outside of Ripple, called Hooks, which is a WebAssembly-based smart contract platform. It's not EVM compatible, but it's built in the sort of XRP Ledger spirit of keeping things fast, cheap, and secure. It's not quite as powerful as it's not compatible with EVM, so you would have to implement your smart contracts again. And it's not quite as powerful. There's some things that you can do in EVM maybe that are just maybe not as good a fit or maybe not super easy to do. But it will allow a significant subset, maybe all of the important DeFi use cases to be implemented without having to, update the ledger itself. But that's for the future. That's developed. It's running on real money on a parallel chain. Called Zahal. And so that's good. That's buying it the kind of real world testing data that you need before you risk like a multi-billion-dollar blockchain on like a radical feature. So that's, it's sort of building up that battle testing because the sidechain doesn't require any significant changes to the XRP Ledger itself. Hooks is a radical change to the XRP Ledger itself. So it's a little bit more complicated. There's a little bit more risk involved and a little bit more buy-in, that we would have to get. one of the things that you have to remember with the blockchain is like there's a heavy preference for not changing it, because one of the things that makes blockchains great is that you can rely on them working like 2 years from now the same way they were. You don't have to worry about Bitcoin like breaking while you can go away for a couple of years and Bitcoin will probably be exactly the same when you come back. Ethereum, it might change a little bit. It migrated from proof of work to proof of stake, but your stuff is still going to work. Like there's this heavy, that part of the value comes from being able to rely on it. And so making radical changes is very difficult to do. And there's a lot of people whose current feeling is like, even if this is a significant advancement, even if it does make it better, the bias against change is very like, why didn't Bitcoin adopt smart contracts? They could have, but they didn't, because like there's value in having a system that is what Bitcoin is, right? And Ethereum is the smart contract platform. And so it's one of those decisions of like, is there value in having it being what it is?
What do you think?
XRP drops, stablecoin adoption is entering the mainstream.
And many new players obviously have entered the stablecoin race, from Ripple and PayPal and Visa and many others. And we also see an emergence of new regulatory frameworks around the globe that will help clarify the playing field and serve as a catalyst for even further growth.
Black Swan Capitalist, there you have it, once again confirming the new blockchain payment system will handle unsettled transactions for central banks and financial institutions affordably, while addressing liquidity issues.
What we're actually witnessing is much more about system change as opposed to replacing a like for like. And the system change that needs to take place is about how national currencies can be used to settle trades that takes place in a system where the exchange of equivalents can be managed and done so where the transaction costs are relatively low. So when you're exchanging things between countries and then needing to settle those through the operations of central banks in particular, the question of equivalence in value is always your pivotal issue. Your second issue goes to liquidity and how you make sure that countries have the access to the settlement regime and the liquidity needed for that is your second issue. So they're your two main things. Now, a distributed ledger system enables, firstly, the management of a regime of accounts, a series of balance sheets, basically, that are transparent to each of the participants, and that reduces operating costs. So this is about data integrity, and it's about reducing costs.
Banks have been on the brink of collapse. This is no surprise. We're just witnessing the domino effect of the smaller institutions going down, so the larger institutions linked to the Fed can acquire and consolidate the banking systems before rolling out. The new standard, XRP. If you go back to the gold standard, 27,000 will have to be the price in order to avoid a massive deflation.
You think gold could get to or surpass 27,000, and you say, look, this isn't just some forecast. I didn't just make this up, but you could see gold, I'm not saying in this year or next year, but heading towards 27,000. You say, look, this is not just a number you're making up. We all know, anyone who knows you, Jim, knows you do. You take deep dives, you do a ton of research. So I'd love for you to walk us through how you got to this number and in what time frame you think this could happen in.
Right. Well, there's a predicate, so it's a little bit different than a hard and fast prediction. I did, the number was about $27,000. You're right. There's a predicate, which is what happens if investors, savers, markets around the world lose confidence in the US dollar. And by the way, if people lose confidence in the US dollar, don't think for a minute that they're going to run to the euro, the yen, pound sterling, Canadian dollars, or whatever. They're not. All those currencies are part of a global euro dollar, US dollar system. So if you lose confidence in US government securities, for example, the US dollar, you're not going to run to, German bonds or Japanese government bonds. That whole system is going to be severely impaired. In which case, you may have to go back to some kind of gold standard, gold-linked, gold-backed in some fashion, not because you want to. There's no central bank in the world that wants to go to gold, but they may have to restore confidence. Now, if you do, if you say, okay, we have to get back to some kind of gold system to restore confidence, what would the price of gold have to be to make that system work? Well, we have a lot of historical precedent. There was a real gold standard solid gold standard from 1870 to 1914, modified gold standard from after World War I, say 1919 through World War II, the Bretton Woods standard from 1944 to 1971. So we do have precedent for this. And in every case, you don't have to have enough gold to back 100% of the money supply. Some of the hard shell gold bugs say you do, but that's not true. Historically, you need between 20 and 40%. So let's just take 40%. Look at the U.S. money supply, and I use M1 because it's broader than Fed-based money. It includes checking accounts. It's kind of like the money from the banks that drives the real economy. So if you take M1 and take 40% of that and say, okay, that's how much gold I need to back it up, and then say, okay, how much gold do I have? The answer is 8,133 tons. That's how much gold the U.S. has. And just do the math. And this is, as I say, this is seventh grade math. What would the price per ounce have to be for 8,000 tons to back up M1? And the answer is $27,000.
We got Mr. Man XRP Stacks, a universal money app in Africa built on the Stellar Network.
Stacks is a universal money app for Africa. All your money, banks, crypto, Momo, in one place, accessible without mobile data. So you can access your accounts, you can move money, you can see your receipts, all with mobile data switched off without requiring the internet. Stacks is live in 4 African markets today and is about to go live in 5 others. We plan to support at least 6 services. So those would be bank and Momo services, plus what we're building with USDC in all 54 markets in Africa in the next 24 months, becoming truly Pan-African in the next 2 years. We came to the DFS Lab Stellar Bootcamp to jumpstart our self-custody multi-token wallet strategy, bringing the worlds of crypto and DeFi to the 300 million Africans that choose to transact offline from their smartphone.
XRP Joss, well-regulated markets are the best markets in the world. Former chairman of the CFTC, Chris Garnicarlo.
This is not only a technology that's going to enable faster, more efficient financial markets, broader, more inclusive, more direct access to finance, but it's also going to allow regulators to do a far better job at their work. And why do I say that? Because for finally, they're not going to be totally reliant on intermediaries to report to them at what's going on. They're going to be actually able to be nodes in blockchains to actually see activity and move away from entity-based regulation to activity-based regulation. And hopefully that should be able to come with the right elements of privacy for market participants. Regulators can now monitor flows of transactions pseudonymously and only when there's probable cause through our standard constitutional means unmask that and do their job that they're constitutionally bound to do to prevent fraud and manipulation in markets. So this is a tremendous opportunity. It's a new architecture. And we will spend time later on talking about all the changes of the last week. But I think the one piece of the iceberg that yet needs to crack is regulators to move on from, okay, grudgingly, we need to.
Good morning, Crypto Ripple XRP versus SEC update. SEC will not be receiving the $2 billion fine that was requested.
XRP was not a token in the context of retail use. It was a different story for institutions. Where do things stand with that case right now?
So right now, what the courts ruled and the judge said very clearly is XRP in and of itself is not a security. That's everything to us. That was, these are technologies that should be allowed to kind of breathe and thrive and grow. And to me, it's again, the inevitable march of those technologies, the progress. The case between Ripple and the SEC, we feel like is largely resolved. Most of that went Ripple's way. There's one case that the judge decided when an institutional sales and something called an investment contract, because there's a contract around it, the contract could be a security. And it was deemed that those were unregistered security sales. And so we're in the final, let's say half mile of that marathon. I think we'll see resolution hopefully this summer. The SEC asked for $2 billion in fines. My estimation is that'll be, certainly in the millions, not the billions. And I think it's, again, just a misguided to even come out and ask for that when there's no accusation or certainly findings of reckless behavior, fraud, any of those things. The other settlements that they've done have been represented like maybe 1 or 2% of what's been involved. And so it's just kind of posturing, in my opinion.
Edo Farina, I would like to see XRPL providing a significant fraction of those interesting DeFi experiences.
I would like to see Ripple as like gluing together enterprise participation in DeFi, like being as like a one-stop shop for enterprises that want to participate in the DeFi ecosystem, using Ripple's tools and technologies with the XRP Ledger, having a significant fraction of the features they want, but also them having the opportunity to access, whatever services are out there that they want. Like the great thing about the internet isn't Amazon, it isn't Twitter, it isn't any one thing. The great thing about the internet is that everything is like, it's the everything place. And I think what we need to have is we need to have a place where people can get to whatever they want. And I'd like to see the XRP Ledger providing a significant fraction of those interesting DeFi experiences, particularly the ones that are more enterprise focused, whether they're around lending or real world asset tokenization or, future use cases, liquidity provision, payments. Payments is a big one. We got to get payments right because everything requires lending is a bunch of payments. Real world asset tokenization. What are you going to do with these real world assets? You're going to buy them and you're going to sell them. Those are payments. And so getting payments right, both on the institutional side and on the sort of retail DeFi side. And obviously people holding lots of our stablecoin to make those DeFi use cases work. And XRP as the bridge asset that connects those assets together.
First, we had the Internet of Information. Now welcome to the Internet of Value. F-Assets open beta is now here. Phase 1 starts now. Technical users get early access and help shape the F-Asset systems. Phase 2 launches soon. Everyone is invited to mint F-Test XRP with the F-Assets dashboard. A retroactive airdrop is planned. F-Assets open beta now live. We got phase 1 now live for more technical operators. And we got the second phase of the open beta will commence when the F-Assets dashboard is live. Phase 2 for everyone. We got Mustache altcoins. I think it's about time for altcoins to catch up with the move that BTC has already made. Many people aren't aware of what awaits in the upcoming months. CoinsKid, total cryptocurrency market cap, possible bull flag here in the final 5th wave, followed by 3-wave ABC before an explosive move up into July and beyond. Blow off top. Juno we Muna, July we fly. Another one from CoinsKid, XRP has to make a move soon. I still have my eye on that 40-cent target. And with that being said, high vibe assets. The next XRP rally will shock the world. Many believers of XRP have been accumulating over the years. It'll be a feeling unimaginable. Many XRP haters will be gnashing of the teeth of disappointment and shame, accumulating XRP. And the longer they take, the higher we climb on that XRP. Rich list ETF is inevitable. Case closure is inevitable. XRP, the only digital asset with utility, with legal clarity. Coming to a ledger near you. Know what you hold, know what's coming, and know why. They want those baggies back. Where will those bags be when that regulation jar molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? Later glitches.
Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. Gotta pump my bags up, pump it to the moon. Pump my bags up. XRP, pump it to the moon. Pump it up, pump my bags up. Pump it up, gotta pump my bags up. Pump it up, better pump my bags up. Pump it up, XRP to the moon. Pump it up, pump it up. Pump it up, gotta pump my bags up.